Well, good evening, Tallahassee, and welcome to the first episode of FSU Weather of the Year. Right now, we've got a live look at the beautiful Doak Campbell Stadium. We've got some blue skies, some puffy cumulus clouds there, too. We're warm, but we're not super hot, and the clouds are helping you out today along with that breeze. So go ahead and take this episode outside tonight to watch. We've got mostly 80s throughout the rest of our viewing area and a couple of 70s sprinkled down in there in places like Cross City, no doubt, those places where we're getting a little bit more of that rain-cooled air right now. We wanted to highlight this for you, your tropical outlook. Invest 91L has fizzled out due to the amount of wind shear and also some Saharan dust that we've had in the area. So what's supposed to be the throes of hurricane season as we are in the peak right now, we are seeing some quiet here, but we do have a lot going on in terms of back to school as well as the first week of FSU weather, along with first Mythbuster Monday, some things you know about the weather, things you probably did not as well. All this and more on FSU Weather.
Good evening, everyone. I'm student meteorologist Daniela Strudi.
I'm student meteorologist Mila Belisario.
And welcome to our official first show of FSU Weather. Fall semester is here, and there's a lot to look forward to. Knowles are good in football and soccer.
Finally.
Did you go to the game this weekend?
I did. It was very hot, though. Did you go?
I did, and I forgot to reapply sunscreen and got absolutely sunburned. But you know, that's what you get, friends. Please reapply sunscreen when you go to those noon games because they are absolutely brutal. But it was well worth the stay as we got that 77-3
Right.
win.
That was so thrilling to see, especially after last season. We needed that. We needed a win.
We really did. Almost broke the school record for scoring as well, which was super, super exciting. But we also just recently started meteorological fall, and official fall season is coming up in just a couple weeks. And does it feel like fall to you?
Absolutely. With these temperatures, I know we were seeing some hotter temperatures this weekend, but now it's finally starting to feel like fall. Very amazing pumpkin spice weather.
Yeah, definitely those cooler breezes coming in the mornings. Now it's still kind of hot in the afternoons. Like the sun is still bearing down on you quite a bit, but again, those cooler breezes from the north and a little bit of a drier mornings is definitely what is keeping us intact. And speaking of those cooler air and sunny skies, Ansley, tell us more about the local. We got some rain today, but are we looking forward to cooler temperatures, about the same?
Yeah, thanks guys. So we are actually, I'm going to let this go over to the next segment. There we go. All right, so we're taking a look around the area and we're gonna see some of those pop-up showers here. We're gonna zoom in closer to Gainesville where we're getting a lot of rain right now. Not a great start to the week for Gainesville. That is sad along with their football scores. So we're gonna be seeing that, but a little closer to home, we've got some pop-up showers, nothing that's going to affect you on land, but might give you a good show if you're there on the beach. And zooming in on our temperatures right now, we've got 80s, and again, in those more rain-cooled areas, it is a little bit cooler right now. In those dew points, we're 69 right now, so we're not too terribly bad. It is a little close to the temperature, but not too high for the moment, typical of this time of year. It's going to leave your feels like just a little bit warmer in some places. 90s, that's not exactly what we want to see. That's super comfortable, but it is on the map. There are a couple of places still in the 80s, however. If that's too much for you tonight, it's going to cool down a little bit. We're going to be in the 70s for the most part. Again, pretty typical of this time of year. False fall has made its appearance and gone away. We are heating back up before we actually get some of that relief. But today we have a little bit to be grateful for. The high is 86 for the day, so we're not as hot as we normally are for today this time of year. And in terms of the radar and clouds, we really don't have much going on. Just a couple of pop-ups that you might see. Of course, always have your umbrella on you as this is Florida. But in terms of your daily planner for tomorrow, we're going to be seeing mostly sunshine, a little bit of clouds here and there, and obviously you want to be keeping your plans for the day a little bit closer to the morning. If you're a runner, I would aim to be outside a little bit earlier, but we're going to take a look across a lot more of Florida here with Mila right now.
Yes, thank you, Ainsley. Look at these gorgeous skies across Florida. I know it is cloudy, but I'm sure we could all find beauty in these clouds as the storms start to dissipate. And as I mentioned, it is very stormy here in Florida. Just look at Fort Myers, Miami. I know we were seeing a little slight sprinkle in Tallahassee earlier, and that does seem to be clearing up. And yeah, just look at Miami, this large mass. Definitely not a nice night if you plan on doing anything outside. You might want to keep those plans inside. And in Central Florida, it does seem to be a bit better, but again, make room for those indoor plans. And for our current temperatures, at least with the rain, it does cool us off a little bit. We don't see 90s as much. And I thought it was interesting how our low spot is actually in Miami, which is normally the hottest spot in Florida, and our warmest spot is in Pensacola and Key West. But Pensacola is definitely interesting because it is the northernmost city on here. And tonight, we are seeing a lot of cloud cover with that rain. Fort Myers, you're rainy, Key West, and Jacksonville as well, but at least we do have some cooler air. And this rain will not go away anytime soon, as tomorrow morning we will see those showers start to make their way through the area, clear up a little bit into tomorrow night, but they finally do seem to clear out by Wednesday morning, and yeah, essentially start to clear up throughout the week. And tomorrow as I mentioned, we are seeing a lot of showers, but we do have those cooler temperatures, which is always great to see. And now we're gonna bring it to Cicely, who's gonna tell us about the Southeast.
Thank you, Mila. Yeah, we had quite a rainy day in Florida today. However, the Southeast overall is looking quite nice, not as cool as Florida is today. You can see 85 in Tampa, 80 in Nashville, and we had a little bit of a cold front come through, which is why we have all of that rain here in Florida for today, and it's become a stationary front. So let's take a look at that right now. You can see quite a bit of storms and showers widespread. Heading all the way down to Miami, you can see it's a little bit more heavy and stronger there, but nothing to be worried about for Tallahassee for the rest of your night. You can see it's quite clear in the Panhandle, but down towards Miami and Orlando, you can see those are still lingering for the rest of the day. And like Mila said, those can be persisting through tomorrow. 84 in Tallahassee right now. I'm sure you felt that cool breeze that was due to that weak cold front that we saw earlier. And that's cooling down conditions for a lot of the Southeast. Up in Charleston, where I'm from, 77. That is temperatures for a bonfire, and I'm sure my dad is doing that exactly right now. So 48, we're a little bit cooler or a little bit drier up towards the north there, and that's going to make it feel even more like fall. However, here in Florida, we're still seeing those muggy conditions, and that's going to bring our heat index into those high 80s and even 90s for Tampa, 95 in Tampa, but you can see it's a little bit cooler towards the north. However, for tonight, we are going to cool down even more. Low 70s for Tallahassee, might even be jacket weather. I know in Charleston, you're definitely going to be wearing even maybe a coat, because I know you Charlestonians are not used to those 60s. 56 up in Charlotte seems like a good day to be out in Carowinds. And for Fort Myers, we're going to see that rain persist, like I said. As for Nashville, though, looking nice and clear, 90s for the rest of your week. And as for Charlotte, like I said, Carowinds will be quite nice, as we're going to be hitting those 80s for the rest of your week. As for tomorrow, though, heating back up into those high 80s and low 80s. But let's take a look at the national. I mean, Daniela, what is going on? I know we don't have any tropics to worry about.
Yeah, of course. Thankfully, tropics have been staying pretty quiet, and also most of the country has been quiet as well. We do, however, have some rain kicking in. We see in the Pacific Northwest, we got a couple of showers also in the Four Corners as well. well. And if you look onto the Atlantic coast, we see we have a weak low pressure system in the Gulf that's causing some rain into north central Florida and South Florida, as well as the Atlantic coast as well. But I really want to take a look right here into Wichita. We got some stagnant rain they've been getting a lot of rain lately. They're currently under a flash flood warning and numerous other flood warnings as well, and that has seeming to continue for the next several hours. They continually are getting some heavy rain across the I-35 and I-70 corridor as well. But thankfully, throughout tomorrow and the next couple of days, most of the country is not expecting to see really any severe weather. We have a slight marginal risk towards the Texas and Oklahoma panhandle and southwestern Kansas as well. So that is the most concerning weather, but thankfully nothing to worry about. As far as the temperatures throughout the country, we're staying mostly above average. We're seeing a ton of 84 in Denver, 88 in Albuquerque. We're even seeing 68 in Detroit as the more comfortable side, as well as 65 in Boston, 88 in Albuquerque as well. Those dew points, we can see those high pressure systems where it's nice and dry over in the western parts of the country, and then we have this river of moisture, it seems like, with those dew points, and that can also indicate those high pressures. We can see this drought, and the west side of the country really needs some rain right now. And going into the next couple of days into your midweek, showers are going to stay hit or miss for much of the country, but many of us are going to stay dry. So not too much concerning weather to worry about, thankfully. And going into tonight, temperatures will get a little more mild, seeing mostly 60s and 70s as our lows, maybe a couple of 50s as we get farther north. But tomorrow, again, those temperatures are going to ramp right back up into the high 90s, or excuse me, in the low 90s, upper 80s, and 70s more comfortable on California's side. But again, those above average temperatures are here to stay, with the exceptions of the east and west coast. So expect fall to be delayed just a little more, but now I'm going to toss it over to Cicely and Sloan with our new weather segment, Mythbuster Monday.
Yeah, thank you so much, Daniela. We're super excited to announce the new Monday show segment, Mythbuster Monday. This is going to be Ayana's new segment of the year. So, as you know, a past Monday team leader, I'm excited to see what she does with this special segment. I'm very excited about it personally.
I am excited about it too, because I used to watch Mythbusters as a kid at my grandparents' house. And one thing I always remembered was that they did the myth where, like, you either get more wet or less wet in the rain, depending on if you walk or run.
Yes.
Well, they decided that it was you get less wet if you run. But then 15 years later, they went on air again and they debunked that myth and decided they were wrong.
They myth-busted the myth bust.
Yeah, they mythed the bust of the,
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, tongue
That's
twister.
crazy. That's crazy.
But Ayana's Mythbuster for today is that lightning never strikes the same place more than once.
Yeah, that's definitely one that I think people are confused about. People sometimes think that that is the case, but it's actually a myth. Lightning can definitely strike the same place again. For example, the Empire State Building's actually struck about 25 times per year on average. So you can definitely strike the same place more than once, maybe even a lot more than once. So.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I mean, you have seen pictures of, like, the Statue of Liberty, like, struck like 20 times a year. I mean, how else would we have so many pictures of it happening?
Yeah.
And a lightning strike does not prevent the electrical activity in a storm from regenerating and producing another strike to the same location.
Yeah, exactly. So it's definitely possible. So definitely be aware of that. We're definitely excited to see as well in the next couple of weeks what the new myths
I know. I used to do Trivia Tuesday, so it's similar. And I know Daniela is going to be doing Trivia Tuesday tomorrow, so definitely stay tuned for that. But that was a very interesting myth, and as someone who is really upset about that one Mythbusters episode, I'm excited to see Ayana's Myth Bus.
Yes, definitely. Me too. Now we're going to go ahead and toss it to Mila with our lifestyle segment.
Yes, thank you so much. And I am very happy to see that we're doing Mythbuster Monday as an extra Mythbusters watcher. But for now, we are looking at our beautiful skies across the rack, really great weather, and a great temperature if you're going to do any intramural sports tonight. And for our dog walk forecast, I am definitely happy to see that we are staying in the 70s. As a Chicagoan, I'm just dying for cooler temperatures, for some fall weather. And I would say if you don't want to sweat as much, maybe 9 a.m. and you don't have that sun to walk your dog, And it is definitely air that you can wear for tomorrow. So ladies, I know I have to do this. Redo your hair. We hate to see it, but yeah, unfortunately, you will want to do that. But if you are planning on heading out of Tallahassee, we are experiencing no delays, and that does seem to be the trend with the rest of these nationwide airports, which great to see. And for the pollen, we do have a medium risk with the grass and the tree pollen. I definitely feel it with my eyes, my sinuses. I'm sure a few of you can relate. And Panama City Beach, if you are going to head there this weekend, I was actually just there with Ainsley this weekend, and we had amazing weather, so I definitely urge you to go. And not too hot, not too cold, and low rip current risk, and sunny skies. And we are seeing a moderate air quality with that pollen. And for the weekend, we are experiencing some higher temperatures in the upper 80s, lower 90s, but it is nice to see that our lows are staying low, even dipping down into the lower 60s. And now we are going to take it to Sloan with the local.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mila. We're going to go ahead and keep on talking about what's going on right here at home in Tallahassee. So some beautiful views across Doak Campbell Stadium. A lot of us sitting in the lower 80s at this time of night. It's definitely a great one to go ahead and get outside. Also, we're staying nice and dry across most of the Big Bend this evening. Just a few pop-up storms and showers in places like Dixie County. Those storms are moving to the west, though, across the Gulf, so nothing to worry about here in Tallahassee. Also, just a few pop-up storms and showers right off the coast of Gulf County. Again, nothing to worry about right here at home in Tallahassee. Tonight's going to be another beautiful night to go ahead and get outside. A lot of us bottoming out in the 70s, so very, very nice weather for sure. If our daytime temperatures can't feel like fall, at least our nighttime lows feel a little bit more like fall. Tomorrow, though, we are going to be heating up to about 87 degrees in the upper 80s. Luckily, though, some of those clouds we're going to be seeing towards the afternoon, and also a little bit of a breeze that should keep us a little bit on the cooler side. But now I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the week ahead. So we're staying nice and sunny really throughout the week ahead, so that's very, very nice. A lot of us are going to be topping out near 90 degrees for our daytime highs. A lot of us can be bottoming out in the low 60s, though, especially as we get towards the weekend, close to next week, bottoming out in those 60s. So I know I'm definitely excited for it to start feeling a little bit more like fall, especially as we get to those lower 60s. Now we're going to go ahead and toss it over to our closing desk over with Cicely and Ainsley.
Thank you, Sloan. I'm excited for it to feel like fall, too. I actually went to the beach over the weekend, and I know you did,
yeah,
too.
I did. It was great, amazing, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, water temperature, perfect.
It was
Air
like
temperature, perfect.
85 degrees in the water, and outside the water, I did get a little bit hot. Like, I had to rent an umbrella because it was so hot out. And like Daniela said, you can get sunburnt so easily. I know I walked to class and, like, my nose burns immediately.
Yeah, for sure.
So when I go to the beach again this weekend, I will be wearing sunscreen. Tell me a little bit about your experience at Rosemary.
Definitely had to reapply sunscreen a couple of times, but I didn't have an umbrella, so you get in the water, you get cold, you get back out of the water, you get warm, and you just like repeat.
It's a trend.
Over and over. But Rosemary is so pretty. It's a little bit more tree covered than the rest of the coast, so I do really like that.
Yeah.
We also went to Seaside. That's where you go to eat.
Yes.
So that was really good.
Went to the food trucks there. They have a lot of stuff, and it's on 30A. It's actually really not far from Tallahassee, only like a 2.5-hour drive, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you get bored of the scenery around Tallahassee, definitely a consideration. As we head into fall, though, I mean, what would be your suggestions? Have you ever been to Georgia or?
I've been a couple of times. I feel like fall is more like hiking, so I like to find those trails a little bit more for sure, like Apalachicola, go down kind of more towards Crawfordville, anywhere south that's tree covered. I am loving. I forget just how green it is down here compared to Nebraska.
We don't get
lush.
the seasons really. We'll get snow maybe, hopefully not again, but we do get snow every few years, but I mean, we don't really get those fall colors, and we don't get to experience like those nice 50s and that crisp feeling weather because It's pretty muggy here.
Yeah, I do like the seasons for sure. I like we have the memes and the Midwest versus everybody Instagram
Yeah.
handle. That's like the false fall. We got that. And then, now we're back to summer.
Yep.
Hopefully we'll be back to fall. But in Florida, we're not so bad. But just make sure to follow us on our socials right now. We've got Twitter
And
or
follow
X.
us on Facebook at FSU Weather.
And you guessed it, we've also got Instagram, FSU Weather.
And our YouTube, where you're hopefully watching right now, FSU Weather. Subscribe.
And last but not least, TikTok at FSU Weather. And this is one last look at the week ahead.